Folke is cool. I use a bunch of his plugins.
There's a guy there that said, can't even type Lamau and blames Folke.
So here is Folke's your precious Folke snacks picker, right? 1.4 gigabyte of memory. Like it's your snacks picker. And what I hate about Ghostty is that I think I have it installed. I think their interface with this tabs is just so ugly.
Hold on, make it smaller. That's what she said.
Folke is a piece of No, I'm actually a big hater of Tmux.
Why?
I'm not a hater of Folke. I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plugins from Folke. Believe me, it's faster. It should be under 100 milliseconds. Yeah, believe me, bro.
What do you think about mini.pick? That's Echasnovski's, right? How does this imaging preview work? What do people have to do?
Rust is still better than Zig.
If you're listening to this as a podcast, remember that it was originally recorded as a video. If you're not following along, you can go to my YouTube channel. My username is linkarzu. And if you want to support me to keep this podcast going, you can donate in Ko-fi. I'm going to leave a link in the description. All right, so let's get started with this chapter then.
Hey, Dmitry. Hey, chat.
How's it going? Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, my haters. I love everyone who hate me on Twitter.
Man, it's crazy. What did you do to the Neovim community, man?
Oh, it's the funniest thing in the entire world. Basically, I just made some posts saying something like that Folke's snacks are allocating a ton of memory. And this is kind of like I attached a video and showed the difference in memory allocation versus FFF, or and they were so pissed off. Like, I mean, I was doing water like crazy, and I think in the end, I don't know, maybe so it's just Reddit Neovim is so sensitive. Like, I don't really understand this. And then I think I was doing water, and then I said I made one single post about like pagination in different file pickers, and then like they basically hated me that I say that FFF is doing this better. Yeah, I really don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, Neovim community on Reddit are so freaking sensitive. I'm not sure actually, but it's for good. It's for good. Now I have more stars than I would have if FFF remains Neovim plugin. But it's still a good Neovim plugin, I think.
Yeah, I share this because I created a video yesterday. You know, I checked out the tool pretty quickly, and I shared this on Reddit. You know, I was like, okay.
And they blocked you?
They didn't.
Or they removed the post?
No, they didn't, but they almost. They just downvoted it to hell.
Yeah.
And look at this. 0.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. There's something going on there. I think
they silently block it. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know what is wrong with them. Like, I'm not sure. Like, obviously, it's a weird thing, but I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
No, what happened is that it got a lot of views. You know, it got a lot of impressions at the beginning, but I noticed that it got a lot of shares really quickly. You know, so it got like, you can see the shares here somewhere. Hold on, where? Here, it got like 20 shares, right? So it got shared to a lot of people. All of them probably downvoted it, and then it died. If you notice, after all of those downvotes, it died. And it just, it's a dead post pretty much, you know. But
I've heard that like some people who are tried to post some updates from the big like releases of FFF there, they just was blocked from the point one. I think you're just maybe a good community member and you're sharing your videos and people love it, so they didn't block you, but they maybe silently did something, so the post is not visible. Yeah,
I don't know. I was downvoted here. I didn't say anything because they say you're rude, and I told them the same was told about COVID. You know, COVID Goyal, the creator of Kitty. People used to.
Sure.
Yeah, people used to say that he was a rude maintainer and all that stuff. And you know, I interviewed him several different times, and now we all know him. And that's why we are doing this live stream, actually, to get to know you and see what's going on, you know, because people just, based on a few posts, you know, already tagged you as a toxic person. I don't know. And they hate you. They don't even know you.
No, I mean, like, I disagree with this. If this is like, you know, if they're really like so sensitive in terms of like, I cannot say that I made the file search that is better than like rip grab, because people are so obsessed with rip grab, and they think that nobody ever can try and make a better tool. I mean, I don't think it's my problem. I never said like anything personal about like Folke or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, you know, I built a tool that is better. Like, what's wrong with this? I'm not sure. Like, you may not agree with this, but like it's weird to me. I don't get this kind of insensitive. Yeah, I'm always trying to, like, I think personally that people should be, you know, rewarded for doing and trying to make something better, rather than being, like, you know, canceled. I mean, Neovim Reddit is not that big a loss in terms of, like, I mean,
Visibility.
engagements.
Yeah.
It's like not the bit lost. Like, okay, I'm blogged and like whatever. It's not that much I lost there. But like if they're trying to do this publicly to a developer to not use his tools, even if they're like, you know, you can just run it and see if it's really faster. Maybe it makes sense. No, like I'm kind of I don't get it. If you have any questions specifically, you can ask me.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I noticed your posts on Twitter, and that's what got my attention. At the beginning, I was like, nah, another file picker. But then I started experiencing kind of the same problems that you described with Snacks, because that's the one that I use. And I use Snacks at my work repo. And something that you cannot do in Snacks by default, if I'm not mistaken, is that I want to see the files that I have modified the latest, right, at the top.
Yeah.
That's not something default. So I had to create like a custom config in Snacks.
I think they have smart. So I can share this thing. So here is my like repo. So Snacks does have a certain smart picker that is come by default, but it's not like smart in terms of like you go to file and then you modify the file and then you just like see it on top, because in the idea is that like it captures how often you access the file by
frequency.
By frequency. FFF is just a little bit smarter because it knows the Git status, and we can know basically that the file is modified in Git, and then we do a huge bonus to the file that is modified in Git and recently modified on the file system, right? Because if you don't know Git status, it doesn't really matter if because you can just pull from some external sources. And this is one of the big thing that is, you know, basically the whole idea of FFF. I can just introduce this. The whole idea of FFF was that I've been using like various different pickers. I've been using like Smart Picker by Folke. I've been trying to use. Before that, I've been using Telescope with smart some smart plugin or
frequency plugin. I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was the best overall experience, but the Telescope itself was kind of like, I mean, it doesn't support a bunch of stuff, so I switched to Folke. And then like the biggest thing for me personally is that like I'm searching for something and I'm typing fast and I'm just like, you know, this is fine, right? But then if I switch like, you know, two buttons to like, if I'm switching C and K, here you can see like, right, I haven't like I'm doing it just never finds the stuff for me. So the idea of FFF was basically I hate this layout. Somebody made this responsive layout for large screens, and I actually I don't like this.
I have a question about that in my video. Go on, I'll tell you what happened.
I should get rid of this because it's like, I mean, yep. I see it makes sense, but like, I mean, I don't know, it's just ugly. I should get rid of them. It was a contribution. I don't really like it. It just like I'm facing this only when I do like large streams or something. It's a little bit weird, but it's okay. So the idea is very simple, that like whatever I can type, like, you know, I can type something like this, and you can see that there is just no way any other picker can find the file picker by this query. It's just like not possible because the algorithm that is used in Lua are just not smart enough. And that was the first thing that I did, plus the frequency support out of the box, plus the Git status. And then it evolved into a bunch of like really, really, really cool stuff, I think, besides Neovim community. Yeah.
Okay, let me show you something that happened to me when I was recording the video yesterday. Okay, so
oh yeah,
I opened it and first time I tried it, I hit record, and first time I installed it and tried it, right? So when I bring it up, this showed up, and I was like, what's going on? Why cannot I preview my file, right? And
Oh, that sucks
why?
because your file info is occupying all the space. I see. Yeah, it's kind of sucks. I should get rid of this view
It's
or
the
make it less.
resolution, right? It's because it's too
Yeah,
small.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah,
if
it
I
just tries.
make it like this, I can
Yeah,
see it.
and then and then because like I by default in the config say debug enabled, you can press F2 to remove this file info tab, and it will get away, and then you will have more preview in this view as well.
Oh, F2. Okay, got
F2,
it.
yeah.
I don't have F2 in my keyboard right now, so I cannot press it. And
Okay, you can
so-
also press. There's a command FFF debug, I think. You can just run it and it will disable it.
How do you send
permanently.
commands? With colon or what?
Oh, you just like exit it and do it and normal. Like you
Oh, I
just
see.
exit the picker, just call the command.
Okay, okay, okay.
Triple FFF.
So in the video that I did, I was not able to view images, but it's because of the view that I
Yeah,
had.
it sucks.
You know?
Oh yeah. I should get rid of this freaking view. It makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can preview images, I can preview files, I can scroll in the files. How does this imaging preview work? What do people have to do? Because I have snacks image and I have all that stuff going on. So
It
how
just
does
snacks. It just snacks in Vim probably. So there are two plugins that I use. So the first one is try to use snacks in Vim. Yeah, it's funny that like basically it's like a mutual dependency. There's also image.nvim that you can use. I'm fine with it. Like there is another thing that people don't really like FFF for is that it's not a file. It's not a picker for everything. And I'm like, well, I don't see any problem in having like two plugins for two pickers if one of the picker. By the way, here is probably another bug that I just noticed in large zoom is that here there is no border. There should be a border. It sucks.
I see.
Yeah, this is a bug. It should be connected.
Oh,
Really
I see.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's some kind of a regressions probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
okay.
What is FFF then, Dmitry? So it's a file picker. You can also grep files, right?
Yeah. So the idea is very simple. That it's the fastest in terms of like raw speed file picker that is like much faster than whatever you will find in Neovim community. Plus, it's really fast. File picker. So like for example, let's just open an example and I'll just show you why it's fast. So I'll just have a Chromium code base, right? I'm sure that it's like kind of exaggerated example, but it's fine. They did have like 460 files, and currently I do have also recording, so my disk is a little bit on fire probably. But like if I'm going to snacks, it will find all the files. They'll like it's fine for the files. It's mostly all right, though. You can see that it's like it still needs some time to finish this out. It's not that bad in terms of raw performance. The problem that like I described you that like the algorithm for matching files, like if I'm doing passwords private and I'm doing some some really weird mistakes, it just cannot find it. FFF will be able to find passwords private from this query, which is like, the whole point. This is the search that just works by files. If you don't do typos, if you do if you type only correct letters, it's probably not an argument for you. For me, it's like a big problem. I do typos all the time, and this is annoying that your file search cannot find it. If I'm searching by Martians in the grep, you can see that it takes a lot of time to find the stuff. It just takes for 2 occurrences. I mean, it's not that bad for
This
people,
is snacks,
especially.
right? This is snacks.
This is snacks. Yeah, this is snacks. And Vim, it just does rib grab search, and it's fine in terms of like it can find stuff like within like on a big 460,000 files repository. It can find it within like 10 seconds, and it's all right, right? So live grab of FFF will be able to find this basically. Martians. It will find it during you type. So it's like it's orders of magnitudes faster, and it does this synchronously on the like main thread. So basically, it's just very, very fast file search first. The second one is that we basically have we do much more to show and score the best results. So you can see that, for example, oh my God, I'm sorry. So you can see that this results has like a bunch of information about them. So there's some frequency access modifiers, the timings when they was last accessed and last modified, the order, like, you know, bytes size and git status. So you can see that this one is know that it's git modified. And if I will go here, oh my gosh, git status will take probably 5 seconds of this machine. So if I'm going to the, what was git modified? Oh, it's mod rs, which this one was modified. So if I am going to unstage this, you can see that how basically every single tool is very slow in Neovim under such a big repository. In FFF, you will get this information like right away. It just knows that this file is not modified anymore. The idea is that basically we know everything about your files. We know we have a certain state that will persist in the memory. So it does have an increased memory footprint. We can talk about this a little bit later. But it does much better job in terms of ranking the files because it knows much more about your files. It knows which files are more important for you right now, which you just modified, which you modified sometime, which you never touched. It knows the git status of the files. It knows, like, you know, it knows if the file was modified in the previous 10 commits and can give you also ranking based on this. So it just gives you better results. But besides that, we have a certain, you can see we have a fuzzy search by the code base, which actually works. It's harder to show you on this on the Martians word, but I will just like take this full modular image struct from the Chromium code base, and like let's say I am searching it with ripgrab, and I'm just like, I'm just doing some silly like thing, right? It will never be able to find it, right? In FFF, we are able to find structs with typos. This is one of the biggest, I think, ripgrab step up from ripgrab like tools, that we can do much more mistakes and restore from this. It needs like a separate like type of matching all at all, at a cost of having state that is persisted while you are running this instance.
I see. And are you able to modify the sorting algorithm, right? Like, let's say that you want to prioritize the files that you have modified the latest, or it's built in, you cannot change that.
You cannot really change that. You have basically my personal taste on this, okay, how I like my sorting. You can have, so there is also a query filter. So you can say get modified, and then you can say something like, doesn't it work in? Or it's status modified. Oh, wow. Is this not work? Maybe it's not working in fuzzy mode because it should be. Okay, it probably doesn't work in fuzzy mode. I will find a ton of bugs during this demo. Wow. So basically you can do some pre-filters based on it's easier to find on the file search. So get modified. Here are some files that are modified in my current directory or clean, right? So you can pre-filter your stuff with people are using this for you can do I don't know, TS files, and then you can do some collapse, and then you can do HTML.
What's a query if I want to search only for, let's say, markdown files? Can you search
just do
for
markdown?
Okay, and then can you type some text? Like I do that markdown and then type the name of the file, and it's just gonna.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, and you can, and this also does this kind of cool. So let's do CR components, and then you do README, and then you do resources, and you can see that basically all of those are qualifying. Like basically, it's just narrowing down the query.
Oh, okay. So it finds all of those, right?
Yeah, so like you can see CR components comes from here, resources come from here, and README comes from here, and you can just like, you can narrow down your query indefinitely. I don't think Snacks, for example, supports that specifically. So yeah, no, it does actually. It does. It's cool. It does support that. Cool. Yeah, it does supports also chunking. I think Telescope and fzf-lua doesn't support that. No, it does. Interesting. And Telescope, let's check. Telescope, because when I've been implementing that, I think interesting. What like Telescope is something next level. I mean, maybe it's like it's likely some broken state. It just probably doesn't work with Neovim 12 on my machine, so I will not even open it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Telescope? I was using Telescope before Snacks, but I don't know if it was my config. I say that it was my config. Something wrong in my config, and it used to be slow. When I opened Telescope in the past, it used to take like 1 second or something to...
Some people are asking questions, I see. Like, so they're saying like they're not open to chat or something.
Oh,
hey,
no.
we are open to chat. Ask your freaking questions.
Yeah, we're taking a look at chat, So ask your questions. We're going to read them. We have some here. Hold on. Way to hidden files. This one thing we need is that there should be a way to hidden files. The main drawback is that it doesn't search through everything. I don't understand. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, it's basically what they are trying to say that, like, I'm going to FFF sources again on macOS version. So like there are some hidden files like, yeah, let's do FFF-nvim, and then there are some hidden files like target folder, right? For example, it's by default hidden in get ignore, and FFF doesn't search in that. So some people are getting pissed off that it's not possible to search in all the files, though ripgrep doesn't do this as well. Like ripgrep also by default always preserve files. There is a possibility, I think, to get rid of this check, though. I mean, there was a few issues related to this in FFF to make some overrides so people can unignore certain files. I think I was on board with that. I just didn't have time to implement this change. I should probably be able to. If you are insistent that this is your problem, I'll do this today. It's not a big deal. There is like an interface that I just don't use to be able to provide configuration to unignore a certain file. If you want to search for all your files on your machine, it's probably not a good idea to use FFF, again, because we use shared state, we use some kind of indexes, we list all the files, we store them in memory. I can tell more about like why this is efficient, though like you don't want to store all your node modules or target folder in memory. It's just not the place where you need FFF. Probably for that cases, it's better to use ripgrep, which will take like a minute to execute over your like million files and node modules, but eventually it will find something and deallocate everything. You don't need to spend time with FFF doing this, and FFF is not designed to search without like pre-war warming up kind of that, right? So this is probably it.
Okay. Is this related to this question in Reddit? Are you able to read this? Is it too small? Hold on. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if that works.
Okay. Going back to Telescope, for instance, it is a lot less useful for me than I thought. I need to read this. May improve performance slightly. This dude doesn't understand anything. If they don't see any performance bumping from the indexing, then it's just like, they likely work on like few thousand lines, few thousand files projects that are indifferent. Frequency sorting is a lot less useful for me than I thought it would be. I disagree with this. For me, it's like a game changer. So it's probably your case. You cannot use than FFF. Tipo resistant finding to be annoyance due to false positives. Oh my gosh, I think this is probably a dude, like type of people that I don't really understand at all. Like I personally cannot understand the idea of like people who are typing without like typos, and like, I don't know, if you are searching for like big ROM filter and you do this, I'm not sure how is it possible that it does any kind of false positives. Like in which case, if you're like, I really do not understand at this point. I've heard a few feedbacks like this saying that typo resistance is worse, though they still use fuzzy matching, which is essentially the same thing, right? Because it's like if you go to big RAM integration, right? It like fuzzy matching is the same thing. It just skips characters. Typo resistant fuzzy matching is just an extension of the same algorithm that just knows that if certain characters are swapped or if certain characters are mistyped, it's like also count this as a gap, not just like as I mean, I'm not sure. I don't understand those people, so probably FFF is not for him as well. So yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, and what about
further?
What about this? Is this related to what you guys were talking about?
Ignoring files that are checked into SCM. It uses the ignore crate, which ignores hidden files that are checked into SCM. I mean, if you are again, yes, probably, but again, like every single file search would ignore files that are not checked into SCM, and you need to unignore this. You can do this using .ignore file. You can try to unignore the existing file. This will work. There is git ignore file and this .ignore file where you can specify your own rules for ignoring, where you can unignore some files so they're still accessible in your file search. But I think basically snacks.nvim are still, or Telescope, they're still using rg list files, which internally uses the same ignore crate, which FFF is now using in the current build. We're switching to a different tool, but it doesn't really matter in this case. So eventually, any of the file searches in VS Code, in Telescope, in fzf-lua, they're still using rg list files, unless you use like specify specific tools. This is just how it works.
Okay. We have a comment here in chat. Someone asked, how do I get that fancy jacket that handsome guy is wearing?
Oh yeah. Just ask any cool question. I have a bunch of those. I ordered them for a conference that was invited to speak about FFF. So I just want to give away a few of them. If you will ask a really good comment, or let's say you just ask or propose a good feature to be added, and then retroactively you need to also we will pick somebody up. And if you just DM me on Twitter or reach to me out in email, which is Dmitriy at iusevim.com, and I will give away to you a jacket. So far, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll just look and we'll pick some good question afterwards, or a good feature proposal that is pissing you off with file search. I'll consider that.
Why did you decide to go with Neovim, Dmitry? Why Neovim and not many of the other popular editors out there?
I don't know. It's just like, I've been using Vim for a while, and it just was a great. So I've been in a couple of different editors. I remember there was a really cool project that I've been paying for on. I don't remember. It was I don't even remember its name. It was written in OCaml. It was a really cool Vim modal editor, a native GUI app that I really loved, and this is how I started learning Vim. But then this editor somehow died. I don't even remember how it was called. There was an interesting, I was an OCaml fan this time, and they've been doing their own kind of framework in OCaml to make a Vim-based modal editor, which was insanely cool. It was really fast. I tried even to contribute to their framework, similar to what is Zed right now doing, by the way. Very, very similar, but they failed indefinitely. And I just... then it was that, so I returned back to VS Code, used Vim mode, and what's pissing me off in VS Code is one single thing. So let's do some weird mistake. So here is my fancy Rust code. Here's my fancy Neovim setup. Everyone be very envy about this. So I'm just doing cargo build, and you can see that I have a path here. And what was always pissing me off in VS Code, there is no good way to jump into this specific path, because it used to be like a very crucial environment for me to be able to do like basically GF and go to the specific file path and be able to find it. You can see that currently this thing is using FFF from me, because basically the native GF that Neovim has is a little bit limited in terms of like your files with locations. It just doesn't support these files with locations. Same thing about Telescope. I, by the way, contributed to Telescope, I think a few years ago, support for this files, locations, path-like. So now Telescope does support them. There was another holy war and the whole drama around that, because for some reason Telescope maintainers just really didn't want to support this feature unless I summoned a lot of Twitter followers and they liked the PR. Basically, it was crazy. But essentially, the idea is that my crucial workflow always was GF and be able to jump to the file. So I'm just using FFF right now. It should, by the way, it should work essentially when you have a single exact match. It should just find and jump to the file directly. If I do GF in Neovim, it will uppercase F will probably also work in this specific case, but the problem that uppercase GF opens the Neovim in the same buffer. You can see that basically it replaced my this floating window with my terminal. So I just use FFF now for this specific feature. Wow, that was another bug. Oh, because it's my Windows state is now broken. I see, it's fine. But essentially, yeah, this was the only feature why I started using Neovim, and then I got into this fun of building your own config, over optimizing this, spending way too much time working on your Neovim config. But I think it's worth it. Now it's like a pretty good feature, full editor for me so far.
Okay, and I see you use Kitty, right? Is that Kitty?
I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why not Ghostty?
I hate absolutely. So my primary GUI entry point is macOS, as you can see, because I have a bunch of software that I just don't fully transferred on Linux, and I just cannot. So I just use a workstation machine with Fedora. I'm not even like my host name is Arch, but I am done with Arch. Like I'm done with that. I'm just Fedora, old good Linux so far. And what I hate about Ghostty is that I think I have it installed. I think their interface with this tabs is just so ugly. I don't know. It's just like, this native Neo macOS tabs. I mean, for me, it's just like, it's so ugly and so weird. Plus, I think Ghostty I was super excited about Ghostty when it started. I even asked to get me a beta invite. I got this like there before lunch. And I didn't find anything that is going to be better than Kitty, and I don't think they still have much of feature, even parity with Kitty, because, for example, the one thing that I really like is getting the previous comment into the pager, so you can search by the output of the previous but of the previous comment std out. So basically, this is the feature that I really use. And plus, Kitty is pretty featureful, pretty powerful. I really like that even so basically, if I'm SSH into my machine, I'm already SSH into my machine, and I'm doing like something like FFF, and then I'm going to PNG files, I can still do like, image preview even over SSH. I think this is insanely cool. I'm not sure if it's possible with Ghostty.
I see. So Kitty fan then?
Probably, yeah. I think I kind of like it, yeah. And every single my video that I made on Twitter, they love this cursor sharing animation, which is Kitty native stuff, right? So I think it's also cool. I'm not that bound to probably terminal. I can use I used Alacrity for a while. I think they're missing a few features. I'm not that bound, but I think Kitty is doing pretty great and moving the terminal directly. So I was So there is kitty list files, which is like kitten choose files, and it's insanely fast file search, which I was also looking like. I think I love this UI, and if I'm going to be doing FFF CLI, I'm going to be doing this similar to this UI. You can see that this UI has different like file size for different, like, I mean, I just like it, and it's pretty fast as well. It's not faster than FFF. I tested it out, but I think it's great for searching the whole computer. I mean, it's pretty good. It's great.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, COVID has talked about choose files in the live streams. I have never tried it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so it's an interesting experience.
Okay, you use Kitty sessions?
Not sure what do you mean kitty sessions.
Oh, it's just. Are you a Tmux guy or no?
No, I'm actually a big hater of Tmux.
Why?
I used to work on a bunch of terminal UI projects in my experience, and I just know. So basically, like, I mean, it's just a giant inefficiency when you have, like, a very good native application sitting in your, like, GPU rendered environment on your machine already, that is already a multiplexer, because these tabs, right? What is this? It's just a multiplexer of terminal. It's not like it's already like, terminal emulator with a built-in multiplexer. And then inside one single tab, you're creating another instance of multiplexer that has its own rules and features. Like, for example, it's not by default, it's not supporting all the Kitty keyboard control, right? Kitty keyboard protocol. You need to somehow tune it to make it possible to export this keys upwards. But this is basically you just sitting behind like some layer that is not really required. It's just like an efficiency, and I just don't really like it. Plus, it's always breaking some fancy terminal features like keyboard protocol for me. So I am using it only when I know that I just want to let my workstation, my Linux computer, work on its own for a while I'm out. So I am just, I'm opening Tmux, then doing detach. So I have it. I even had some config. I tried to love it. Yeah, basically I'm using it for a bunch of like, clanker stuff, which is then you just remove because it's a complete nonsense. But yeah, this is what I'm using FFF for, Tmux for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Tmux, one of the missing features that covers in terminals, to my opinion, is sessions. I guess that a lot of the people in chat, let's see, who here in chat uses Tmux because of sessions? Let's see.
Yeah, sessions is probably one of the biggest annoying part. Though I think I kind of using it in a different way. I'm just, I session into my machine, and then my sessions are within my Neovim instance. So I have the session persistence, which I just reopen, and it just works. And like during the workday, when I need to be connected all the time and I don't need to drop my connection, I just use a wrapper that doesn't let my computers go to sleep. So a certain SSH connection inside of the kitty is not getting intercepted because the computer is going to sleep. So the whole like work day, I am connected to single machine. I open as much tabs as I want to within one instance. So I even have like a shortcut in Kitty that doesn't work because I'm now need to connect to remote machine. But like it just opens the terminal tab directly on the SSH connection, which is very cool. So with this, like, if I need to open a new tab, I have like just a shortcut which opens it directly connected to my remote machine. It's very cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't. Well, I talked to COVID about sessions, because there were not sessions before we did the interviews, but now he implemented sessions. So that's the reason why I ditch Tmux. I don't use Tmux anymore, right? So this is my .dot files. This is a Kitty session. If I want to go to my notes, which should be
what
this
do you mean
one.
sessions? Is it like so? Are they persisted on the remote machines as well or not?
No, local. I'm just talking
Okay.
about local sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can have my tabs on this session, and if I switch to another session, I can have my tabs here. I have a fuzzy finder, so I can create a session out of any of these directories. Like
Very cool.
this one, for example. So a session is created, but COVID implemented that feature. So at least for me personally, Tmux is not needed anymore because that was the only reason why I used it, because of sessions. Of course, if you're working on a server, Tmux is still the option to go with, right?
Yeah, I would actually be absolutely stuck if COVID will make the same thing, but like if I could install binary of Kitty on server and I could reconnect to my session on the remote server, I would be so much obsessed with this, and I would praise COVID for like, I don't know, 2 hours in a row. Because I mean, I don't know, like it would be really huge, because like currently, like it's actually a pain point, because once you do SSH into someone, you just basically have a free canvas. I agree. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, we have a question here in chat. Hold on. Let's see. Tmux. What is Tmux, my boy? Let's see. Hold on. Someone asked something here. Oh,
This FFF looks very sloppy, too much text for the things it does. Look at FZF, simple, just small words that tell. So let me just show you one single step. Like I'm going to Chromium, right? I mean, you are opening FZF on the Chromium repo, right? I'm just going to BTOP and I'm searching for FZF, and I see 100 megabytes allocated for a single like file, a thing. And like just look into how much memory this shit actually needs. Like, I mean, this is the same kind of memory feedback as FFF will be. It's like 266
we cannot
megabyte
see
of
it.
memory.
This thing is
You cannot
blocking.
see.
Our cameras are blocking the memory. I think it's there
So
on
it's
the
like
right
300 megabytes for FZF running in a single directory, searching my files, doing the same same git ignore thingy. I mean, it's just like, but like let's again do the same kind of do the same experiment. We will find some file. I don't know. Let's find some. I don't remember any good file. Like, okay, let's do retrieve symbols. Like, I'm just doing retrieve symbols. Like the way I like to find it. Oh, it did. I didn't do any typo. Let's do the typo that I always do. Retrieve symbols.
There's a guy there in chat that said, hold on. There's a guy there that said, can't even type Lamau and blames Folke. A guy in chat, one of your haters.
That
probably.
makes sense. That makes sense. I am doing typos very like crazy. The problem that like I'm just, I don't know, ALT owners, right? I don't know. I mean, I just make a simple mistake, or like ITL owners, like it finds it, but like I'm doing one single additional character and it still doesn't work, right? Which is pretty annoying to me personally. Plus, it allocates a ton of memory. So it's like you can see, guys. Like let me just move this thing so you can see it. This 300 still can see it.
Still cannot see it. There we go.
320 megabytes of memory just in FZF, and this is one single instance of FZF that's running one time on the actual repository. It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't do any content indexing. Doesn't do anything else. I mean, what are you talking about? What is your problem with memory usage and sloppiness? Let me do one more thing. Let me do my favorite showcase. I'm going to my machine. My favorite machine. I'm going to Linux, and this is the Linux kernel recently pulled. It has so let me just open the file search. So okay, sorry. I need to not open FFF in this case. So here is Folke's your precious Folke snacks picker, right?
Oh, don't talk about Folke. Yeah,
I will. I'm sorry. Just let me show you what is why you think that Folke didn't wipe sloped his application. So here is my nvim dash embed.
Hold on, make it smaller. That's what she said. Can you make it to the?
I can pull us here like this. Does it work?
Yep, yeah, that's good. That's better.
Okay, they're perfect. So let me just, I will clean all the Neovim instances that I have. So here I have, let me just clean all this nonsense here.
I think I know why you do a lot of typos, because you're really fast, man. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
It's not a good thing. I'm doing, like, I sacrifice. It's like it's really bad for the actual correctness of type. But for commands, I usually sacrifice accuracy for speed, which is probably not a good thing. Do not teach from me. So here you go. So I have a Linux kernel recently pulled. I'm opening Linux kernel in my Neovim. I have btop on the same machine, and I do. Oh my god!
It's too small. You can make it a little bit bigger. Make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
we can see it. There, more. A little bit more.
It works. So nvim. So here is my. Why do I have 2 instances of Neovim? Okay, because I need one of those. They're both. Oh shit! macOS button clicks is so annoying.
Yep.
Okay, so here is a Neovim --embed. This is the instance that is running this. I'm opening a single snack speaker. I got 100 megabytes allocated. Let me just try to search for something. Like, I'm searching for a message sh. Did it crash? Oh, I love it. Okay, let me do... like, I just search, I do pick my files, I'm going here, I'm going there. Like, I'm just search for stuff. How much time? Wait, what is... Which
300 megs.
I mean, it's not that bad. Okay, here you go. 400 megabytes. Okay, let's scroll even further. Let's do like C files. Let's do like, first of all, you can see that once I'm scrolling, it's constantly lagging, like here. Okay, just lagged. It's lagged. It's just loading the next pages. 1.4 gigabyte of memory. Like, it's your snack speaker that is just allocated, while me doing like just not even searches. I'm just going over the files, and this is like, this is a lot of memory. So let me just show you what will happen. So here we cleaned up all the stuff. Let me just do the same shit with FFF. I use this absolutely weird directory. You can see after you open snacks, we had like 170 as well, right? So it's not that much difference in types of memory allocation. Now I do some searches, and these searches are very fast. And no matter how much stuff would I open here, GNR matrix, it will be 200, maybe 400 megabytes, because it's still like, for every file, your Neovim needs to open file parser, like, tree-seater parsers, but it will never be so bad. Like, let me just do this for a while. Let me just do this. Like, I will wait for it, because I know that this memory is going to be not allocated that much. Okay, 500 megabytes. And like it, but we still, so this FFF instance, I so much hate this view. Oh my gosh, man, this is the ugliest view ever. I'll get rid of this. You can see that it does it has like, the actual like, I don't know, let's do Twitter. I know that there's one single Twitter mention in the whole Linux kernel from one single contributor, but you can see how fast it is. Basically, every single type will result you the result while still allocating you. Oh, it's probably way more than I expected. But we contain the whole content index for the whole Linux kernel within this instance, and it still allocates less memory than snacks.nvim. Like, what are you talking about? Who is the slopper right now?
No.
Oh, wow. No. Folke is cool. I use a bunch of his plugins, though I just think that, like, the biggest problem that I have with snacks picker specifically is that this thing shouldn't be done in Lua, and this thing shouldn't be done in file picking is very different from basically, I think, any other picking, because especially in Neovim like applications, because basically what works, how it's supposed to be done, is that you open the files, you search them, you get this results to Neovim, and that you like allocate the memory like in the layer which reads the files. In the case of snacks.nvim or telescope or whatever, they do use ripgrep inside, which is completely different layer. They spawn the whole process. They ask this process for the results. This does reduce the memory because you don't see the resources that was allocated as a child process. But this replaces this involves a lot of repeating work, because ripgrep needs to list all the files. It needs to go through all the directories. It needs to parse your git ignore. It needs to collect all the files. It needs to open all the files. It needs to just do a lot of work within the same instance, while we know that the 90% of information is going to be reused between the types, like between you type and different characters, while FFF just reuses all this information and being fast because of that. That's that easy.
We have another one here, but there's mini.pick though. What's your thoughts on mini.pick? And there's someone here that I'm being anti-drama. Man, I'm all about drama, you know. My channel, I don't know. There's a lot of people that hate me just because I have some thumbnails with furries, you know, like 4 furries. I do crazy stuff in my channel. I don't care, to be honest, but I'm not anti-drama. I'm not overly dramatic, but I'm not anti-drama. What do you think about mini.pick? That's Echasnovski's, right?
Yeah, so actually, Echasnovski is a guy from my native city. We are basically I don't know him in person, though. I don't use any of the mini plugins just because I feel like I don't know.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Let's see. Let's hear it.
No. There is no hate. Absolutely, I don't hate anyone. I'm just saying that there are two type of people that, like, one, I think. Especially, there's a lot of Vim users like this. They're trying to be. What's funny though? Lol, Siboras, tell me that. So the problem that I love bloat. I love when software is smart. I love when software is doing like all of this heuristic to help me and optimize my work. Like that's why basically I have FFF, right? So like in most cases, the biggest performance gain for me is not this raw speed optimization. It's more like, you know, ranking of the files. That when I'm searching for the files, I don't know, built-in stat. So basically, it's just when I type for something, it gives me this result faster. I don't want to think about how software is used. I want a software to understand what I'm gonna do and help me. And you know, like mini plugins seems to be a completely different thing. They're trying to be as minimal as possible, and you basically being as as precise as you have to be to control them. I think this is maybe just two different ways of working with software. I prefer my own way of working with software, the tools that understand your intention and being very helpful and doing maybe much more work. And that's basically because I want to do much more work, I have to optimize it so it is not freaking slow. That's basically it.
Okay, and you use Rust as your main language, right?
For FFF, yeah. So FFF is written actually in 2 languages. FFF is written in Zig and Rust. Most of the platform-specific optimizations for raw performance are written in Zig, as well as so there is 3 things. There are 3 things. There is first thing, 3 components of FFF. First component is basically a file walker that is doing the walk of the files, pre-filtering, all this shit to find the files. This is now using ignore create from Burnt Sushi, basically ripgrep creator, which I am replacing with my own implementation right now because I want to use more platform-specific optimizations, because ripgrep is very cool piece of software and very fast, but only on Linux. There, as I'm using macOS Apple file system is just slower, and there are a lot of things that are much slower in ripgrep. So let me just show you that again. Yeah, so I have this chromium repo as well, and let's do my first Martians in ripgrep. Like this is ripgrep on Linux. Let me just do the same shit on macOS. This is M4 MacBook Pro, and I do the same thing for ripgrep on maybe, so just you can see how different the timings are, right? And this is not because the cache is cold. It's because it's like basically hitting the wall because the cache is already warmed up for ripgap. And on Linux, it's just like, mostly instant. Like it's maybe a second, 2 seconds ish. FFF takes, just for reference, under 100 milliseconds usually. On Linux, I have it's easier to show the timings on this machine. So I have FFF. I have a deployed instance of Chromium Search on one of my VPS. It just like shows the timings right here. So Martians. So if FFF on a cold takes 100, I mean, it's pretty bad right now, by the way. It's likely degraded. I think it used to be under 100 milliseconds. But essentially, yeah, it's not that cool, but still, like, I mean, it's faster. Believe me, it's faster. It should be under 100 milliseconds. Yeah, believe me, bro. It's, like, I'm basically hosting my own 4-core VPS somewhere just to show out how FFF works on different size repos, and sometimes it's degraded. I'm not sure why, but my goal on like, yeah, again, let's do prove this. Sorry, what's going on with me? Okay. So what was I about? I was about to show you how nice. What's that? Oh, nice. My tree sitter has crashed. Shit. I love it. Oh my god. I don't know. That's a bummer. Whatever. But it's faster. FFF is faster. But the idea is very simple. That ripgrep, so just to continue my initial take, ripgrep is very optimized on using basically file system in Linux, and it's not that optimized. It's just using the APIs in the most straightforward way. The Search internal, they have a memchar crate, which implements like basically platform specific byte matching implementation that is used by regex and that is used by ripgrep. But ripgrep on its own, if you will look into the sources, it just opens directories in using files in Rust, using just Rust standard library, and then just fitting this into the into this, like, memchar, opening every file, loads chunk by chunk, and scanning them. That's basically it. It doesn't do any fancy stuff. And once I'm starting working and expanding FFF to be working on different machines and different targets and different operating system like Windows, I started noticing a lot of platform-specific optimization for batch and syscalls. For example, like on Linux, there is get dent64, which allows you to list a lot of files from the directory in one syscall. There is get blk attributes for macOS, which allows you to batch file system fstats. And there are a few great APIs in Windows that allows you to basically bypass this Windows C compact layer directly and talk directly to NTFS, because NTFS is a very slow file system. And this makes the whole process much faster in those specific platforms. And I do that in Zig. And in Rust, I do all the state management and all the global state, all the index management, so it is not causing crashes just like we've seen a tree sitter did for me.
Now, Dmitry, why are you daily driving macOS? What are your thoughts on Linux?
I love Linux. So as you can see, most of my work is happening on Linux. Why macOS? Basically because I develop a software sometimes. So like that is primarily used locally on macOS. That's why I need both macOS and Linux. And macOS just has more. It's more software that you can run without pain in the ass. Like DaVinci Resolve, there is like my thing that is my microphone is now running Universal Audio hardware system extension that just doesn't work on Linux. There's just a bunch of like soft software that I use Mac for, but I do most of my work on Linux for sure.
Okay, we have something here. Let's see. Other pickers, let's see. We have a few questions here in chat. Oh, have you seen the Ratty terminal? I've seen that guy. I was gonna interview. I don't remember his name, but it's a guy that does a lot of stuff.
Orhan.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen
He's
him.
from Turkey. I once speak to him. He's obsessed with his Ratatouille, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of very interesting thing.
Yeah, a lot of different tools in Rust I've seen come in his way, right?
Yeah, mostly for terminals, like terminal UI applications. Yeah.
What is this website? I think this guy found your website. Could you answer my boy tools question? What question? Let me see. Are there any apps that leverage it in a GUI like boy tools, everything?
So there is I think so there is some guy who made FFF GPUI. What is that? It's just a GPUI kind of daemon that works for. They specifically made it for ZAD. I'm sorry, I don't know how can I zoom this in because it's not done for me. It's like done for ZAD. But basically, this is the application. Here is the window that somebody made for FFF being able to run as a ZAD subtask. So you can see that it just finds all the things, and we can try. So we can do. You can see that search results. So grab search results takes 150 milliseconds. Oh, like 50 milliseconds. Yeah, it's like. Maybe it's regressed a little bit after my latest fixes. I probably need, because I was targeting FFF on Mac to be under 100 milliseconds for any search in Chromium. Maybe this is a little bit regressed, but essentially this is the GPU based file search that you can run even in the root of your file system or on all your dev directory, and it will work because so I can just go to my dev directory and I do ffgpui open. It will take some time to scan all your files. I have a freaking ton of files, but then you can see that all the file matching on the whole dev directory still works, and it will still use all your. I think it's using it doesn't use default so FFF is also, there is a cool feature. Basically, our database for file access is global, so you can different sources of usage of FFF can reuse the same database, storing the data, the history of accessing a certain file. Why this is cool? Because if you use a certain, like for example, there are a few AI agents where I added an integration for FFF. For example, the Pi agent has FFF integration. So it will use the same file search as you do in Neovim, and it will reuse and basically also write its own access patterns into the same database. So once your AI clanker did some changes on your machine, then your local Neovim instance will also prioritize those files because it knows that these files were edited pretty intensively recently, which I think a pretty cool feature that is not really accessible anywhere. But here is like one of the examples of GUI application, but not that much besides that.
Okay.
Because FFF is kind of currently the main goal is to make a great file search toolkit for long-running applications. So the status of FFF, the main thing that I'm trying to solve, is a very fast and very efficient file search for any application that lives longer than a single command, like ripgrab. Even ripgrab can. So FFF CLI is coming for a long time, but it's not yet there because it needs to be crafted very, very thoroughly to make it great and usable for everyone. But for basically any software that is running longer than a single, few key presses, FFF is already way better in terms of raw performance and in terms of results than ripgrab. Because ripgrab, you need to take it, you need to install it, you need to spawn the process. Ripgrab doesn't support pagination, and pagination is like the first algorithm that you need to implement to make your file search fast. Because if you have a ton of matches, like you use, you mention use in a Rust codebase, you will have 10,000 of matches. Ripgrab only can filter out first 50, but it cannot effectively go to the next page. FFF can do this and reduce amount of work by an order of magnitude, which is cool, I think.
I think I already asked this. Does FFF have sorting capabilities? Sort by last modified search or even indexing a band file video specific? Can you read this? Do you see it?
Yeah, I see that. So the sort is only happening by our own heuristics. We do not allow. So there are a few things that you can tweak using configuration, but essentially we prioritize the file that were recently modified. Custom probing doesn't work, and I'm not actually probably will ever do this, though there is an idea of being able to search by file metadata as by text. So like, there is not like, it's developers who mostly always search by text files. There are a lot of software that needs file search by images. There is a lot of software that needs a file search by videos, exactly. And if we will be able to make a certain extension for them, if they need it, then I can probably implement this. That's going to be interesting. But for now, I have a bunch of work I need to do to make FFF even better for source code search.
What is going to be your next project? Do you have any plans for after FFF?
After FFF? Oh my gosh. So like, there are a few. So I will do a neat pick for you. Do you know New Shell? Shell?
I've heard about it. Yep.
New Shell is now also integrated FFF as a file search for some specific tasks. So I really want to be great for. So I want to make it great for them. There is open code, guys. Open code.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The open code is also. Yeah, DAX, exactly. And they also are replacing ripgrep inside with FFF. So I was like, last few weeks I've been running. So now I have a BSD hardware. I have a FreeBSD laptop. I have deployed instance of OpenBSD. I have a Windows machine. I have an Intel Mac, and I'm just trying to make sure that this native software is not working intentionally on all of this operating systems. And what I found, by the way, what's funny, that file system rules and just a different file system on different operating system is just dramatically changes the game of rules, how file search should be done. And I don't have really much capacity to implement all the platform-specific changes that I want to, so I just have too much time. Though I have a certain very specific thing that I can show you as a sneak peek that I built for FFF, but only if you really want to.
Let's do it. Let me share. Let me switch your screen. Let me know if I can switch to it.
Yeah, just you can switch to this. It's fine.
Yeah,
so essentially,
I can see it.
Yeah, cool. So what's the problem? So I have a little problem. So I have a file log that is generated by FFF, and I sometimes get this big log file from our users, and I'm using tracing with spans, and it's sometimes very hard for me to get this file right. So and I cannot use always I mostly always cannot use flame graph or any kind of perf tools on the user software, like on user machine, because they just don't have them installed or whatever. So they just share with me a single file log. And what I did build is there is a little tool that I've been trying cargo run. So I've been building for myself to optimize a bunch of FFF specific problems, and basically this is just a trace viewer with the summarization per trace. So basically you can just go down and drill into a certain thing. So this match likely just didn't have any queries at all. That's why it looks pretty different, pretty weird. But we can load another one. So I just do, we just can do file searches, and we can do rescan pending. We can do another flex of being able to find by with a typo. And by the way, one thing about Folke, just one thing. Can I say one bad thing about snacks.nvim again?
No? Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that I'm so I don't know, people, if you listen in this, are you on stream? Are you all right that your file search in Folke doesn't understand that this is not a regex? I was so much pissed off that I'd always need to do this. You know this?
Yep.
You understand this?
The symbols.
it's like I mean, so here is, so we have also a regex mod in FFF, but if I'm typing, like, you know, it just falls back to literal. Like, this is one of this, like, you know, I'm just really, with FFF, I really try to make a freaking good UI for myself. And when I use regex, I don't use regex much because most of them, like, you know, I just thought, and I realized that 99.9% of time I'm searching for text. I don't need regex most of the time, and that's 0.1% of time. When I'm searching for something, I actually look for not regex but fuzzy search, because it skips like one word or something like this. But you know, like this little thing that I really not understand. So, okay, so let's get back to this project. And here is likely an updated trace viewer. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's updated. This is my, maybe it didn't write the files. Oh yeah, so, okay. So here is how it's supposed to be working. So basically, it's a trace viewer that shows you how much time a grep, like, or any kind of nested logs are used, and this is used in the production build. That's why the logs are pretty sporadically, but it highlights and shows how many FS updates are happening, how much, like, for example, sort and paginates are taking like 814 nanoseconds or microseconds. So that's fine. The grep search, the max grep search on FFF codebase takes 26 milliseconds, from which the max perform grep, which is basically the core word, takes 7 milliseconds. And this is kind of thing that really helps to optimize it from different platforms. You just open this tool and analyze if there are any locks or are there any contention happening within any of the major functions from basically any user machine. That's just my project that maybe I will open source a little bit later, because right now it's not really complete and pretty small.
We have a comment here in chat. I wonder if Bob realizes that his login thing can be $1 billion business. Forget the fast search.
Bro, this guy wins the wins the jacket. Antronik Vartanian. You can go. Okay, Shreyas, I love you. You can also get it. Yeah, I'll just give you a jacket for free. Just give me your address again.
These two guys.
Yeah, this two guys are getting the jackets. Shreyas, just because I love him, is my buddy. And Antronik Vartanian. You just message me, whenever, email me, Twitter, whatever. I'll give you this jacket. It has, like, you know, I'm not sure you can see this. It has the whole back printed, which is kind of cool. I think, yeah, it's cool. This FF Trace tool is optimized to run 1 gigabyte of logs parsed per second. So for 1 gigabyte file, it spends 1 second parsing this and then does basically 120 fps viewing tool. But, and if you know how to make $1 million from this, just also let me know. You can message me the same two things in the same email. I would be glad to.
we have my wife just said, "Is that Wabi?" And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? And I searched it, and I don't know what this is. But
very similar. Yeah. Oh my god, very similar. Okay.
I have no idea.
That works.
Now
I don't know.
I have a question for you as well. Oh, you have a YouTube channel, right, Dmitry?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I should. Yeah. Yeah. I should be more active there.
What is it?
But I'm planning. It's NeoGoose, by the way, _. And I think, yeah, this one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm planning to make a big video with all the low-level optimizations inside FFF. Basically, yeah. The funniest video is this one, React Server Components in Assembly. I once got really bogged down and I implemented a real working React Server Components backend in pure ARM assembly.
And how often do you upload to YouTube? You don't do it that often, right?
1 year and then 2 months ago. Yeah, I should. I really wish I will have more time to record the videos. You can see that I have some fancy setup.
Yeah, but I can see pretty good camera, lighting.
Yeah,
microphone.
Yeah, the time is the main constraint, especially like I now have a small kid and all the stuff, so I'm not sure, but I want to. I want to. Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna get a few subscribers from chat. And
Yeah, I really want to make a video with low level optimizations of FFF because there are a bunch of interesting stuff in there.
oh, pretty cool. And what do you do for a living, if I may ask?
So, like I'm living in a SAF. Everyone here is doing AI.
Oh, okay.
AI native applied engineer because everyone is doing this shit now. Actually, like I am now in the middle of so I founded a startup 5 years ago. We do pretty good. Though I'm kind of with all the vibe coding, I'm kind of getting a little bit depressed. So now I'm looking for stuff a little bit. So again, if you are in a SAF and you are looking for someone who does video rendering in real time, who did a bunch of FPGAs before, a bunch of like native low level stuff like file search, you know where to find me. Sure.
Okay. How do you feel about all of this AI stuff going on? Like, why do you feel depressed about it?
It's not depression. It's more of like, I just think that I'm optimistic about this. Like a bunch of FFF. So like FFF obviously is heavily AI assisted because I'm using AI to develop it. Because like I have a full-time job, I have a startup that is like
look.
I'm a tech lead in a freaking startup. Like guys, I'm working more than you in your job, and like I'm still doing some open source shit, which is intense. And like it's not a slop because I'm reviewing, and usually like I am rewriting everything from scratch what AI does, but a lot of like for example my I'm not how much time do we have now?
Oh, it's up
How
to
much
you.
time do we have?
It's up to you.
So I have one really neat implementation of in FFF that I was able to implement completely from scratch, and I implemented it's like my own personal way of doing indexes. I can talk more about this. Probably it's not really required, but I'm just saying that AI didn't do much features in FFF because most of the ideas AI does was wrong. But when I had an idea, I am able to much faster make a prototype and validate if it makes sense or not. And that's how basically I found a new way of doing very lightweight in terms of ROM memory footprint indexes that are competing with the actual trigram indexes and weights much less, and you can keep them in memory. But this is basically, I think without AI, it would be impossible because I validated like 15 or 20 different indexes ideas before that, all by AI. And then one of those was actually kind of interesting, and I took it and I implemented it from scratch because AI was kind of like I was using AI a little bit, but most of the code is implemented from scratch because it's heavily SIMD optimized. But in the results, we got FFF being really fast and really cool. Without AI, probably I will just never had enough time to do this. But at the same time, on my work job, where most of the stuff is pretty trivial and pretty same, AI is doing pretty good job in this, and you are like, okay, what's left for me to do? It's just like, okay, I mean, I'm just doing the same work 10 times faster and validating what's written by AI. So yeah, I guess I have a little bit more time working on my own interesting things, but okay, but does it even matter now or not? So I sometimes get in this little depression.
Yeah, I think we all feel the same way. And you open YouTube, and the only thing that you see everywhere is AI, right? Like, man, all of the videos in my feed are AI news related or a tool related to AI or something that has to do with AI. And I think, yeah.
I agree with you. And this is especially Twitter. It's like, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. Twitter, especially, man. Just AI. I just opened Twitter. I kid you not, for 5 minutes, and I'm like, man, I'm just exhausted of this, and I just close it. It's the same thing all over the place, Maybe it's the type of content that I follow. I have no idea, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the timeline is just the lunatics everywhere. But what I like is that you can farm some good engagements by simply type in delete your account under them, and just like, it's additional $200 of income per 2 weeks. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Here's a video idea. Or here's a suggestion from Siboras: make videos reacting to Folke's plugins.
Man, I don't like that people are thinking that I'm a hater of Folke. I'm not a hater of Folke. Like, dude, I okay. Can you open my screen again?
Yeah. Let me switch to it.
I'm not a hater of Folke. So let me just do this. Okay. I'll just do G Folke. I mean, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plugins from Folke. Some of them are disabled, but still, like, I mean, the dude did an amazing job, and like, the dude is much better than I am in writing Lua. It's 100%. I'm not that good in Lua. I'm just saying that I don't really like that people are trying to, like, consolidate a certain code with personality. Like, I'm saying that Snacks doing file search slow and inefficient and is not using good algorithm. I build a better thing. Hey, look, try it. Why people think that I'm saying that Folke is a piece of shit? Like, it's not true. I didn't say that. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, I'm using a bunch of his work, and and when some people are offended that I'm saying that I built a tool that is faster than ripgrab because it's using a freaking index, and it's like, it's not a CLI. It's a thing designed. It's apple and oranges. Why do you think that I'm saying that Andrew Golland is a bad programmer? It's not what I say. And it's like, well, I really don't understand this kind of mental model when people are saying that there is one project that is like currently popular and good. Nobody can make any project that is better. I don't really get it. Like, I think we should incentivize and reward people for trying to make things better, because this will be better for everyone. I don't know why do, like, am I sound like I'm a Folke hater? What do you think like that?
You have your opinions, and well, I think that in open source, there's a lot of fanaticism, right? Like, you cannot say bad things about Linux. You cannot say bad things about Arch because you're a hater. There's a lot of sensitive people.
I mean, if you're saying Arch is a piece of shit, it's like, it's one thing. If you're saying that, ripgrab is slow in certain scenario on Chromium, on macOS, and here's, like, for example, and here are a few things that you can do to make it better, and like, and you make it better because, like, your contribution, like, I'm not, like, some people will say, where is your patches to ripgrab? Dude, I rebuilt the file search from scratch. I'm using the persistent state. Ripgrab is not a persistent tool. It's just used in VS Code, in snacks.nvim, in other projects, like, but there is just a better way all. It's just wrong tool used for file search. That's it. That's my opinion. You might think that, like, 100 megabyte of impact, of index impact, like, on Chromium repository, or like, on 500,000 files is too much. That probably makes sense. Though, like, I am opening right now the tab that is working on, okay, let's do it in another browser. That's my wife, by the way. So I'm just opening Twitter, and I'm hovering over here. What I will see, will it show me? It's like one single tab of Twitter allocating 424 megabytes of RAM, and on Chromium repository with the whole file, like, system indexed, FFF allocates around 200 megabytes, maybe 300, like, it depends on the way it works and the file system. So, like, I don't think this is a problem for sure, but, like, people have different opinion. If somebody's saying that FFF doesn't work, or like that dude that typed on your that you show on Reddit that say that it doesn't really work with typo resistance, Okay, that makes sense. I'm not going to remove typo resistance. If you're saying that FFF doesn't work for you because of that, it's by design typo resistant. It will never be non-typo resistant. It doesn't make sense to make a non-typo resistant search, as my personal opinion, right? So it's just not for you. Okay, like whatever. You can build your own stuff that will not be typo resistant. We can try to see whatever is better. That's it. Like, I'm not sure why do people take every open source project so personally and so serious. This is for me like over my understanding.
Yeah, exactly. I can talk shit about macOS. I don't care. I can talk shit about Linux. I daily drive macOS. That's the only thing that I use, and I use it for the same reasons that you do as well. I use DaVinci Resolve. I use a lot of proprietary garbage, as the Linux community says. And I don't care. I pay for software that I find useful. I don't care. And I can talk shit about it, because sometimes it's shitty. I haven't updated to macOS 26 because I hate it. I'm waiting. I'm going to probably update, I don't know, when I have no chance. But I don't care. I'm not married to, an operating system tool.
I love it. I love it. But Rust is still better than Zig. You heard that phrase. No, I'm joking. I really don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like that is like I'm using Zig because Zig's vector abstraction, I think, is the best and the easiest for me to write the code in. If there would be Odin that would be better and easier for me and will not require me a mental model to switch, I'll use it. That's it. I don't really care if I'm not using TypeScript, not because it's like I mean, I could use TypeScript. It's just slow and it's not like it's shitty. But if TypeScript would be as fast as Rust and will be giving me as much implementation ability, I will use it just because everyone knows TypeScript, and I can be like, I could get much more contributors. I could get much more, usage. I can write in natively in JavaScript browser. I would use TypeScript, but it's just like, I would maybe use Lua because it's FFF is original in Neovim plugin, but Lua is just slow language, and that's it, right? So like there are obvious things that you can compare software with, like execution time, a feature, like like I'm opening FFF. On the same query, I'm doing one single typo and I cannot find the stuff. With FFF, I can find the stuff with a single typo, right? It's just like, it's a fact that in this case, there's +1 in terms of like to FFF. If there is like, other thing, you say FFF requires some startup time. Maybe 2 seconds per 500,000 file, maybe 3 seconds on macOS. It needs just to go through this, do lstats, and lstats are freaking slow in macOS. That's why I'm rolling out my own file worker so I can batch the stats syscalls in a better way than I do right now. So it's not that slow, but still, like some other projects do not need to wait a little bit of time before they start. And they can just push the search right away and forget about this. That's where like FFF would be worse. So like, just like facts. Why do you take all this so seriously? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Now, Dmitry, was pretty nice talking to you. Do you have any final words? Anything you want to say to wrap it up?
It's all BFFF. No, but yeah, I mean, like, I think FFF is kind of cool in terms of like, if you have any kind of,
what does it stand for? What is FFF? What does it mean? What does it stand for?
There was never an official acronym for that. It could be either files for food, or we'll search files for food, or it could be like freaking fast fuzzy file finder pick 3 or something like this. I never picked it up, so like you can find it yourself. Maybe it's Folke, fucking famous or something like this. I don't know. It's just like it's up to you. It's up to you. But if you have any kind of tool or any like AI agent that you are building on your own or anything else that is requiring file search, get in touch with me. I am happy to, like, I really want FFF to be powering every single file search everywhere, and we can see if I can make it better for you than whatever you are using right now. That's
okay. Because it started as a Neovim plugin, and then it became what is it now?
So FFF now is can I share my screen again?
Yeah.
So FFF now is basically a toolkit for file search. So it's just so there is a Neovim plugin, there is Node and Button SDK, there is C library, and there is Rust Crate, and there is a Python SDK coming. So basically, in short, what you can do is that you have an API, programmatic API, with an instance-based pattern, which you can do all the shit that does Neovim plugin, right? So you can, with all of this kind of like, this is all the code that you need to get file search with typo resistance that is sorted by access frequency, that knows about git status, because git status on its own is a very slow thing to get. And for example, again, a little go into I'm just going to macOS. And because macOS has its own very specific type of strings, git status, let's do it like this. Git status takes so much time on macOS because Git was designed for Linux, and on a big type of project, it can take a lot of time, and this could be very big problem. So FFF that is using File Watcher to get a Git status updates can, I know one project that leverages specifically that. So like you can use it in pretty much any kind of software. There is MCP server that is, that is like one of the biggest users of FFF right now. I think it's not using it very good. I think I can do a better job, and I want to revamp it. Basically, it's just trying to replace default tools of Cloud Code, whatever, with FFF, and it actually improves the performance of AI doing certain shit. There is a Pi agent, which you can, Pi extension, that is, you can just replace existing tools with FFF, and it works pretty good. Neovim plugin, and a bunch of SDKs that you can use.
Where can people find you then? Can you share your Twitter page for the people in chat here?
Yeah, you can go find me in profile here. I'm NeoGoose, by the way. You can go to Dmitriy Kovalenko GitHub, and there is my email as well. So yeah, you can email me with any of your ideas. You can DM me on Twitter, or any other way you can reach me out, but don't come to my house. I'm not ready for that.
Okay. Now, this video that we're recording right now, this live stream is going to go private. Only members will be able to watch it, but don't panic, okay? If there's someone in chat panicking right now, because there's people that come to my comments and say, oh, so he put the comment behind the paywall, and that's not the case. I just put it private, only accessible for members, but then I edit the video. Okay, so in the next few days, I'm going to edit the video. As you know, Dmitry, this takes time, right? Because I have to, man, it's painful, it's annoying. I hate it, but I have to do it. So I'll edit it, and I'm going to upload it next week someday.
Man, why AI cannot replace video editing?
Exactly.
I'm so freaking annoyed, right?
Exactly.
So like, why they take my code in? Like, right? I would be so happy if I can just give it like, raw sources, and it give me like, 5 different type of like different video editing. I would be so happy.
Exactly.
I actually even tried to pay for something of this, and it never works. And I'm like, shit.
Did you try the shorts one, the Opus clip? Did you try it?
No, I actually I tried I made one long video recently. I paid for some startup that is doing they run Whisper, right? And they allow you to cut off automatically some, silences, cut off some useless repeating words, and it just screwed over so much the whole timeline. So I just threw it away and did it on my own. And I'm like, shit, why AI is so bad?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get there. I did try this Opus clip for shorts. Nah, it sucks. It doesn't work. And but
that's annoying.
Hopefully we'll get there eventually. So Dmitry, chat, thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate it. So till the next time.